So, just a small announcement, then I'll get to the main topic. That I've fallen behind on reviewing many things like Peacemaker, Sandman, and yeah, obviously Dune. Don't worry, we will catch up. It will take time, but I will give you guys updates on all those things. But let us get right to it. So, are these real? So, there's been a lot of spilling of tea on Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated a few weeks ago. And apparently, Charlie, before he died, started to withdraw his support from Israel. Now, this is a really contentious topic, no doubt about it, but I have to say, decidedly, today the right is more divided on this than even the left. For a long time, the left was really divided about how to take a stance on Israel, but the right is definitely experiencing a crisis. So many of them don't really care about Jews or even Israel, but they've taken this kind of pro Israeli stance during the Cold War and then afterwards vis a vis US foreign policy. And that was just considered the doctrine, the consensus. But ironically, ever since 9/11, there's been more and more questioning whether this is a good idea or whether this is even beneficial. So, just in the last couple of years, a lot of conservatives have exiled or punished Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and a lot of other people for not upholding that consensus. Now, whether I like these people or not, and again, to put it mildly, their record is very mixed, they have had very good, sharp criticisms of Israel recently. So was Charlie Kirk joining them? Well, these texts seem to indicate that yes, he was, but again, he did it for his own reasons. So let me cite the man himself. So he says, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Ugh. Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And then it goes further. Please don't invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term, in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times. And there you go. Very Kirkish opinion. So this is adding several different twists. And since I cover conspiracy theories, it's often, frankly, pretty silly and boring. If you want to pay for the higher tiers, we're going to get into some pretty weird stuff about Satanism, music industry, Hollywood history, as well as the people I usually cover, like the grifters, like Aaron Smith Levin. But yeah, this one's out there. So, okay, so the reasoning is this, that because Kirk was being very critical 48 hours before he was assassinated, some people are speculating that maybe Israel got him killed. Now, I gotta say, this is all very delicious because for a long time, the radical right is willing to believe some pretty incredible conspiracy theories on the left, the Marxists, the feminists, whatever. But now they're really like, okay, yeah, these texts are real or whatever, but I don't care. So Laura Loomer, who's notorious for peddling the most crazy, bat crazy conspiracy theories, is now like, well, it doesn't matter. So let me cite her, and this is pretty, well, actually really conservative and nice of her, but I don't think she believes it. So Laura is going, there is no denial. The texts don't mean anything. If they are real or fake, it doesn't change the fact that Charlie Kirk was murdered by a radical leftist. People who can't think critically don't understand this concept of two things being true at the same time. This is Laura Loomer, by the way. A donor's alleged decision to allegedly not donate isn't motive, that's in quotations, or evidence in the murder. It's rage bait for people who masturbate to conspiracy theories. It's so embarrassing for anyone who falls for this Farrakhan level nonsense. I can't believe how many stupid people walk among us. Oh, right. So if you think Israel possibly might assassinate people for being critical, that's just Farrakhan stuff. Well, no, I have to be the critical, actual person, historian here who actually reads and does research, unlike Laura Loomer. It's very plausible, and it is a fact that Israel does violently attack critics. I mean, that's just documented. Now, granted, I'm a little biased. I usually read Noam Chomsky on this, and he does provide massive documentation that, yeah, Israel does violently suppress opinion. But really, this is insane that Laura Loomer is saying, that's just wild, crazy conspiracy theories. That's her bread and butter. That's all she does 24/7 is crazy conspiracy theories. But now it's not about the Hispanics or the blacks or the feminists. So now she's like, that's just crazy and stupid. Stop doing that. So it is hilarious that the radical right, that it was peddling all this nonsense for years and years, is like, no, stop it. Stop being crazy. Stop it. You need to stop it now. Oh, and it gets better that Tapuza, the organization that Charlie Kirk headed, is magically now very pro Israel, even though Charlie Kirk commanded them to at least be more neutral. It seems like he was being much more critical of Israel, and he was ordering the Tapuza to sort of try to be careful, not to be pro Candace. That would be way too dangerous, but it's like, we're going to step away. And now the people who Charlie Kirk was talking about in the text are like, oh my God, he loved Israel. He wasn't changing, even though the texts tell us he was changing his mind.
Spoke literally the night before his tragic and untimely death. I was on a small Zoom call with him and a couple others. We were literally talking through this topic. I was giving Charlie advice for how to message on this issue on his forthcoming campus tour. He kind of jokingly mentioned to me, he was like, Josh, I'm going to mention your book, Israel and Civilization, and it's so good. And that was literally our last conversation. It's just so tragic. This letter that he wrote to the Prime Minister, Chris, I read back in June or July or so. And there were so many people in the aftermath of his horrific assassination, Candace Owens, folks like that, who were saying that, oh, Charlie was turning on Israel. He was ready to sell them out and renounce his life's work of sincere and genuine friendship with the Jewish people and the Jewish state. But this letter that he wrote to Bibi Netanyahu, Chris, literally begins. The first sentence of the letter is, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's a close paraphrase. As a Christian, one of my greatest joys in life is making friendships with the Jewish people.
Okay, now to be fair, he might not be lying exactly, but he's definitely misleading people. Because you think to yourself, okay, it's possible Charlie Kirk just changed his mind again and went back to being pro-Israeli. But the more likely thing is like, no, he's maintaining his critical stance. He was going to be friendly here and there, right? All he's saying is that, oh, you're going to plug my book, right? So the texts are pretty shocking because they are 48 hours before he died, right? So that's a very short time frame. And the basic gist that Candace Owen and others are getting to is undeniable that Tapuza, which was taking a much more neutral stance, is now once again being pro-Israeli. So it seems pretty obvious the pro-Israeli forces have taken over this organization that Charlie Kirk won and making it basically their puppet. And that's just wild that all these radical rightists are so worried about the subversion. Oh my God, these immigrants and these feminists and the trans. Oh my God, all these black Chinese people. Oh my God, they're ruining it. Oh my God, we need to stay strong and be Christian. Oh my God, give money to Tapuza. Right? Right after Charlie dies. Like, oh my God, guys, give money to Tapuza. Give the money now. Okay? Alrighty then. But I just love the height of this propaganda that, okay, listen, like Charlie loved us because he loved the Jews. All right, listen, it's really simple. You love the Jew, you gotta love Israel. It's like, really? How is equating love of this or that person to loving a state? Like, that's literally complete fascism. That is 100% fascism. You identify a people with a state, and that's it. There's nothing more. This is just wild. It's really wild. And it does complicate the story. Again, we just don't know. We don't know if the guy who did assassinate Charlie Kirk might have been influenced by the Israelis. We just don't know. My opinion at this moment is I don't think the Israelis did it, but yeah, this barrage of propaganda to mislead people and lie to people, that's very suspicious. It is very suspicious. Now, this is just what Israel does. It just constantly barrages the American people with propaganda. But I'm like, this is one of their own, right? So even a radical rightist pro-Israeli like Charlie Kirk is like, okay, I'm having some doubts here. It's like, no, no, Charlie, you can't have doubts. Listen to me. Listen to me now. He's like, I want to listen. I want to do the propaganda. But even he was having strong doubts and was probably going to move away from the Israeli cause. That's news unto itself. But yeah, now we have this conspiracy factor. And Laura Loomer and Josh and all the usual propagandists are going nuts. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.